she voted her own fiancé out of the tech startup they'd built together, then looked him in the eyes and called it a necessary corporate restructure. To the business world, Elena was a tactical genius. To Leo, she was the person who took 3 years of his sweat, debt, and sleepless nights and sold it for a seat at the executive table. They started with zero. Leo was the creative architect, a visionary developer who could turn raw code into gold. Elena was the ruthless operator, sharp, structured, and obsessed with scale. For 3 years, they lived in a grimy studio apartment. They shared cold takeaway pizza over whiteboards covered in financial algorithms. Leo worked 18-hour shifts, destroying his physical health to build their proprietary software platform. Elena handled the board members, pitching their future to seed investors. They weren't just business partners, they were engaged. Leo genuinely believed he was building an empire for his future wife. But in the corporate world, loyalty is an expense line that eventually gets cut.
By year 3, the tech market took a sudden downturn. Debt piled up, and Series B investors refused to release funds unless major operational changes were made. The board held an emergency meeting behind closed doors. They blamed Leo's chaotic, perfectionist development style for the delay in profitability. They gave Elena a brutal ultimatum: sign an executive order to remove Leo as Chief Technology Officer and hand his equity over to the firm, or watch the company go bankrupt by Friday. Elena didn't hesitate. She didn't call Leo to negotiate. She didn't seek a third option. The next morning, Leo walked into the headquarters holding coffee for both of them, only to find his access keycard revoked. Elena met him in the glass conference room alongside 2 corporate attorneys. She pushed a legal buyout document across the table. She handed him a minor severance package, stripped him of his voting shares, and had security escort him out of the building he designed. To Leo, it was a cold, soul-crushing betrayal. To Elena, it was saving 50 employees' livelihoods and securing her personal ascent to the top. 3 years passed in complete radio silence. Elena scaled the company into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. She became a frequent guest on financial news networks, praised as the unstoppable CEO who saved a failing startup through discipline. She lived in a luxury penthouse, drove high-end sports cars, and moved through elite social circles. At the annual Global Tech Summit, she took the main stage as the keynote speaker to receive the Entrepreneur of the Year award. Standing before thousands of investors, she delivered her speech on leadership. She boasted about her philosophy: eliminating emotional dead weight, cutting unprofitable assets, and prioritizing corporate survival over personal relationships. She believed she had won. She believed the past was buried under her balance sheets. What she didn't realize was that while she was busy managing public relations and scaling the brand, the financial foundation of her empire had quietly begun to crack. As the floor opened for the Q&A session, a spotlight shifted toward the center aisle of the auditorium. A man in a tailored dark suit stepped forward. The room fell into a sudden, heavy silence. It was Leo. Elena's heart slammed against her ribs. For a fraction of a second, the polished, untouchable CEO vanished, replaced by the young woman who used to share late-night cold pizza on a grimy apartment floor. A wave of long-buried guilt surged through her chest, the unspoken pain of knowing she had built her throne on the broken back of the only person who had ever truly believed in her.
She tightened her grip on the glass trophy until her knuckles turned white, forcing her practiced media smile back onto her face. Leo didn't look broken or bitter. Carrying a sleek leather document portfolio under his arm, he walked toward the stage with absolute, quiet composure. He looked up at her, not with rage, but with a cold, distant understanding that hurt her more than any public insult ever could. "A brilliant speech, Elena," Leo said softly, his voice carrying clearly through the hall. "Structure over emotion, eliminating dead weight. You always were an exceptional strategist." Elena's throat felt dry. The sharp confidence in her eyes softened for a brief moment, revealing the silent remorse she had hidden behind balance sheets for 3 years. Leo opened the leather portfolio he carried, resting his hand calmly on the thick stack of legal briefs inside. 3 years ago, you saved 50 jobs by removing me.